After a complete bloodbath of a cobblestone, GODSENT have got to try and recollect and bring it back on train. Otherwise, they will be out and Gambit will go through to face off against Renegades. Imetis joined alongside Semler, and we're going to be getting this on very shortly, Sam. And it looks like your prediction is looking a whole lot better than mine is right about now.
That's why I'm the boss, man. What I say comes true. I mean, we'll see. Because Train, I was outside thinking about it. I was like, okay, we got Train next, right? Train, they have a very good history on this map. Both teams, in fact, should be comfortable on Train. We should see a bit more of a bloodbath here, I'm hoping, because we had a good start on Cobble. It was like a little bit back and forth. You were kind of wondering, okay, they got 3 rounds in a row, GODSENT, things are looking good, and then all of a sudden, Gambit just took over. So when you go into Train, you have to wonder, are GODSENT going to be able to get their heads back in the game? Is Pronax going to be able to call effectively? Because the core of this team have experience on this map. They should know what they need to do to put a halt to the Gambit train here, because otherwise they're going to get run over 2-0 in front of their home crowd. And it's going to be, you know, hoodies over their heads and walking out in shame. Don't want that to happen.
Definitely not. I want to, from a spectatorial viewpoint as a neutral, I want to see a third map. I want to see GODSENT come back into this and perform like they did in day number 1. When they ended up winning, I think it was 16-9. They looked great. JW was performing great. We had a couple of members that just didn't really show. Schneider in particular was a little bit of a flop in that first map. I'd love to see him bounce back with authority here on Train. As you said, it was back and forth. We had these 3-round sprees where it went back and forth, but then it just seemed like suddenly Gambit and Mo in particular took over, and Mo ended with 25 frags. This is a map that definitely lends itself towards solid aggressive AWPing. Mo could take over again here.
Lots of options. Unlike on Cobble, where the CT side struggles massively to go look for picks, find shots, right? You know, it's really just limited to A long and plateau. Those are your 2 options, really. On Train, whole lot more you can do. You can even go for like an old JW style with the AWP, hold close pop dog. JW was pretty crazy. I mean, that's some aggressive opping, right? Don't really see that too often anymore, but it is at your disposal. You can go to A main. You can try and find picks there, and Brown Halls for the B side. There's a lot to do here on the CT side to mess with the T side, and so we're going to see if Zeus with Gambit has gone back to his old style, where it's going to be very default at the beginning, waiting for that aggression from GODSENT. Curious to see how this develops. We're live with the pistol, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second map in this second semifinal. GODSENT starting on the CT side, Gambit on the T side, and we have to see, can GODSENT, well, there we go. Lekro starting it off with the headshot on Hobbit.
And starting CT could do them a world of good as well, especially if they can just start to get some rounds on their back pocket. That opening pick, though, is great. It's going to shut down the Box Halls push. It's also going to allow them to have that player advantage. They still got a smoke. They still got Pronax alive with the kit. Starting great, but we saw Gambit concede the first player in the pistol round on Cobblestone and then get 5 kills back-to-back in the blink of an eye. So it can still happen for Gambit here.
You have certain players that you want to take out of a pistol round, right?
Yep.
Forrest, Shoxy. You get an early kill on players like that who excel in pistols, then you feel like you're cooking with gas. Then you feel like you've got something going your way. To drop Hobbit here, Hobbit seems to be a monster in pistol rounds. He was instrumental in Gambit picking up their pistol round, the first T-side pistol round on Cobblestone. They went ahead and actually just railroaded GODSENT after that. But taking out Hobbit early on here has removed a key piece for Gambit. We're going to have to see how Zeus decides to adjust to this development as the smoke goes out.
Yeah, and Hobbit really had no chance. That was a beautiful one-tap. 40 seconds left. Now we're going to start to see the utility implemented onto the A side, where GODSENT are going to try and rummage together some kind of a fend-off towards this onslaught. There's Lekro with another one-tap. He seems to be on form at a third as well. And Pronax comes good onto Zeus, and that's going to be the 1-0. GODSENT holding on, only losing 1 player.
Seems to be a very popular strategy as well right now to get that smoke down in the mid-trains, try and flash your way through, try and just bum rush the site. Clearly, GODSENT have done their homework. They've been watching some of the games recently because they all seem to be in good positions to deal with that push. JW on the second train looking over the smoke into A main, into Pop Dog for that initial peak, and then falling back onto the site from there. Very solid hold there from GODSENT. That's an excellent way to start things here on Train. That's going to give them some confidence. 1-0 lead now for GODSENT.
A lot of investment placed in assault rifles. Going to be 3 in total. Pretty standard stuff, though, honestly, on Train. Quite a lot of long-range angles to cover. Then you have the Mag 7 and the UMP for the close-range confrontations. You can see right now, Flusher on top of the Train. Position that Taz likes to play quite a lot. And now going to be getting all up into the face of Gambit if they do push down. Meanwhile, the M4 is in connector. So a solid crossfire can be established if Gambit decide to pull the trigger on a B hit. Doesn't look likely, though. They've got a player just chilling out over there with a Tech 9, but by and large, it's going to be a fairly split approach.
I mean, you can have Doja be a late lurker over by Ali if you go for the B hit, but it's not very common. We don't really see that too often. So it does look like Zeus kind of wants to get everybody towards A main and perhaps go for just a straight out rush. when the time comes, because they're all working their way back down here over towards that A side. 50 seconds left. Haven't really spotted anybody on GODSENT. GODSENT not willing to take any risks at all in this anti-eco. They know exactly what Gambit are up to. They know that they've invested in the round, and so they are going to be holding just a little bit more carefully here. Although JW is pretty close to A main. If these smokes come in, he's in position to deal with it.
Yeah, I like the positions taken by GODSENT. He's going to go up at the train. This could end up costing him his life. His accuracy's all over the place. Going to be spamming through. This is where the 25 bullets is going to hurt, but the grenade on the retreat is going to do a lot of damage, and the rest of his team is stepping up tall. It looks shaky, but GODSENT are going to be A-OK. And not just that, but they keep all 5 players alive.
Very, very good work there from JW. Spots them out, sees exactly what's coming. Once those smokes come in, it is pretty clear, but the fact that he stays alive, he forces those Gambit players to pay attention to him. That creates space for his teammates to go ahead and take their battles, win their fights. There we go. Now we're seeing some fight here from GODSENT. The Swedes, they've shown up. 2-0 lead for GODSENT. Going into the third round, it's going to be a hard eco here from Gambit. No surprise there. Glocks across the board, not even $200 spent on a flash. And I'm always going to bring that up just because that flash can really create opportunity for you. It is going to be the straight YOLO rush here, and already Lekro starting off strong. They need to rush onto the site, and Zeus not quite finding it. He's down to 5 HP though, Flusha, but Zeus still can't hit the shot.
That's an awkward confrontation. The bomb's not going to get planted, and Schneider will take that away from them. Flusha connects the Mag 7 shot, so for the second consecutive round, GODSENT don't lose any players. And with the weaponry they have, honestly, they could even feasibly just keep all of this. They don't even need to replenish a weapon. Mag 7's fine. UMP solid. Still against Kevlar's not too bad. But they are going to trade between Lekro and Flusha. They don't drop the Mag 7. They are going to retain it.
Interesting. Interesting decision there, because I would have thought that you might want to hand the Mag 7 over to JW, let him go play Pop Dog. But instead, it's going to be aggro Brown Halls here. Zeus and Hobbit are making their way over for Gambit. There's the early flash. And Zeus is ready and waiting for it. But Lekro, he really wants to get in here and take a fight, and he is going to get caught. Nicely done there by Zeus, but the follow-up is possible. Flusha walks into a random bullet. The pre-fire from Zeus works. You think that Zeus is going to die 100%, but no. Pronax, however, will hunt him down in the end. So we're into a 3-on-3 very early on in the round here.
Yeah, going straight up Pop Dog, not even allowing Zeus the chance to reload. Doja, though, through the smoke onto an aggressive JW who is desperate for information. He gets it, but it's at the cost of his life. Not worth a lot of time to play with, though, due to the nature of how explosive this round has been.
Just JW things, really. Pronax not going to be able to deliver. You can see the look of pain there, the anguish apparent on his face when he knows that he was the linchpin. He had to get that kill, bring it back to a 2-on-2, and allow for Schneider to have some room to work with, but it just did not pan out. Gambit in their first buy round with the rifles will make it happen for themselves. They're on the board now, 1-3. And well, of course, GODSENT still have the money. All those shotgun kills, those UMP kills, etc. They have plenty of money to go into this buy. And now we actually see JW with the AWP. Okay, so where is he going to take it? Could go over here to Alley. This is one of the more common spots where you can look into A main, you can look into Alley, you can try and really hunt for that initial kill.
I wonder if Gambit would have realized, hearing the Mag 7, seeing the UMP, if you'd see at least one AWP in play and go for a super aggressive take just to try and knock GODSENT off their perch, but that doesn't seem to be the case so far. As ever, you've got Doja who's watching the cross on Ivy, the rest of his team in box halls.
Doja over at Alley making noise like this is basically making GODSENT think that this is going to be that A hit, because he's been at Alley consistently so far when it's been an A hit. Lekro a little bit delayed on the rotation, but JW's making his way over here as well. Already on the site, however, but Flusha will find the pick on Hobbit, instantly traded by Adrian, and we're into a 4-on-4.
Damage has been inflicted onto Adrian, but with that bomb being planted, all the pressure now on the shoulders of GODSENT. They have got the opening pick onto Mount, and that's going to be certainly a huge scalp to take. Lekro with another one, and that should be the House of Cards coming crumbling down now for the terrorists. They don't have a molly in the hands of Zeus. He'd love to have one. So I think they're pretty much just succumbing to their fate right now. The bomb's getting defused, by the way, in amongst all this. Lekro could just straight up defuse it right here, right now, and he has. And just add salt on the wounds. GODSENT won't lose any more players. So just Flusha went down.
Nice reset. And that's a tough scenario for Gambit to find themselves in, because they were never actually able to push. It was a quick reaction coming in from GODSENT with the 2 rotators over towards that B site. Lekro and connector JW getting into CT very quickly. And so Pronax, with the read on the situation, rotating his troops over there, gave Gambit no opportunity to really push up to connector, to start getting the pieces into position for a successful T hold, because you want to go over towards connector, you want to try and push, at least send somebody up there to flank the CTs as they rotate in. Just wasn't possible, and GODSENT with an excellent retake. And now Lekro stands his ground. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
Not a shabby start for the terrorists, considering that they are at a weapon disadvantage. Still have 4 smokes in play. Can still try some kind of a set play on B if they so choose. But with the opening pick, it could afford GODSENT into a position where they go aggro into the likes of Team A, maybe up Ivy. And in doing that, Gambit could catch them unawares if they try to rotate.
It does look like they want to go towards B, though.
Yeah, I think they're going to be sticking on B for the time being. The great thing about Train, though, what makes this such an explosive map, of course, it's only a couple of strides. You get down Pop Dog and suddenly A's on the card. So this is why GODSENT have got to keep some players on A, just on the off chance.
Yeah, it's Schneider, essentially. He's going to be that quick rotate over, but they're counting on Flusha, and Flusha's playing a pretty passive position out here. A little bit out in the open, but he doesn't want to risk getting rushed down. That's the main thing. And so GODSENT, with how well that retake went in the last round, Flusha really playing off of that. He's like, okay, well, if they get over onto the B site, fair enough. We will be able to retake it in the end, especially if he can spot them out coming through. There are the smokes and the flashes that are going to be coming sailing in. And there's the setup. Incendiary instantly thrown out, but Flusha a little bit late to catch out the man onto site already. And so there might be a chance here for Gambit to actually make this work.
They waited a long, long time, and we still have an Incendiary and a HE in the hands of Pronax. But Flusha's gone down. Schneider through the smoke. And it's the issue of having low HP. After the bomb gets planted, you're going to get spammed through that smoke. Here comes the Glil. Point blank range will down Pronax. And hold the phones for a second, because it looks like Gambit could very well just take this round outright.
Yeah, there's the difference. The key difference is that Gambit were able to push a couple of players forward. They take down Flusha, but then having that man up by connector, it just cuts GODSENT off. Look at this now. They have to move in as 2 players, and well, they are going to catch Zeus looking the wrong way. Schneider will take down Mo, and it is on Hobbit now with 53 HP. The bomb is being defused. He's going to charge out, and that's all he had to do. He might have just done it. JW, is he going to have time? No, he just barely gets the defuse. Split-second difference, and the clutch goes for GODSENT 5-1, but that was way too close. Such a shame for Hobbit. If he stays alive a split second longer, that's it. He makes it happen for his team.
And that was a clenched butt moment for a lot of people here in the audience, because that was close to detonating. That was a millisecond or 2 away. Very close. But as you say, what Hobbit had to do is maybe peek a second earlier or later. Of course, from his perspective, he wasn't sure if a player was already holding down the defuse. He had to go for that peek. Unfortunate. Gambit still at spawn. Maybe just going to have a pause here.
What is going on here?
I'm not sure. It was a late pause into the rounds, discussing it amongst themselves, but hopefully we'll have some info for you guys shortly. Looks like we do have the reset on the previous round taking place.
They need to make up their minds. Adrian's calling for a timeout, whereas JW is saying on pause.
I think we're going live.
Is this on pause or not? What is going on?
Well, Adrian's saying have fun, so I'm assuming that we are live now.
I guess so.
That was odd, though, to say the least. But either way, Gambit, they didn't have the funds to go for a decent sort of buy into this one. They got a PP Bison.
No, that was Zeus misbuying.
Oh, dear.
What is this sloppiness? Get your heads in the game.
Oh,
come on, Gambit.
Dear. And that puts Zeus down to 700. The rest of his team are mid to high 2000s, so that is going to sting in the next round.
Bizarre sort of scenario here. I don't know what that was about, but oh no, missing smokes.
Their head's gone, boys.
That's it.
They're done.
GODSENT, you got him on the ropes. They're shaky. Lekro gonna find the first shot, and well, Lekro's got the perfect position with that. You can see this one smoke they got missed gives Lekro a straight shot onto A main, and he's just dropping players left and right.
Yeah, it should be an easy cleanup. Those are the only players to get a frag with a deagle. And this is where the Bison buy could very well sting for Zeus. Yeah, he's got 3.1k. Everyone else is able to get AKs. I suppose Zeus will have a UMP as a result. It's still not a terrible weapon, but of course you'd love to have 4 AKs alongside that AWP.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw him in there first, right? Some teams like to have the MAC-10, Zeus with the UMP. It's a bit more effective at long range, which on train you kind of want to have just because big, wide open sights. UMP is the better, the best SMG, I think, for this sort of scenario. But let's see how things pan out as Zeus and Hobbit once again making their way over here into Brown Halls. Flusha with the aggressive smoke, however, is going to keep him guessing. But JW's got the angle on Mo, waiting for somebody to go jumping across. Why does nobody go jumping across? You had 3 players there.
Triggered. Yeah, it is a bit of a head scratcher. We saw this happen a lot earlier on train. You'd have 2 or 3 players there, one jumps across, draws out the fire, then you can try and return fire with your own AWP. But no, instead Mo goes down, and Adrian will be picking up the AWP instead. So a great pick, and we already said, and we already saw in the last round that Gambit said seemed to be going a little bit. They're on shaky ground, and if GODSENT continue to apply the pressure, Gambit could just edge further and further out of this one.
It's more important right now. At least it's going to come down to the economy, I think, for GODSENT. And yeah, they are starting to get that bank going. Basically, they've got a full buy right now in the bank. And if they keep going at this rate, it's going to be very difficult for Gambit to ever break their economy again in this half. So a lot of pressure on Gambit right now. They're down a man in this key round. Adrian's got that AWP that Mo got dropped with earlier on. And Flusha, he's pondering the meaning of life. They're actually checking around. Was there a gap somewhere over? Did they leave what? Did they leave Ali alone? How did they think that somebody was back there? Okay, Lekro's going to fall to Adrian. Adrian hits the first shot, but Flusha's still alive.
You can see what that kind of indecision did. It allowed them to funnel away out, get the opening pick, and now a potential bomb plant. With very low time on the board. 10 seconds now. With Hobbit being low and no nades to try and fend off this push, it's unlikely that GODSENT will lose. But it seems like a very scrappy game of CS between the two teams. Schneider's going to go in for the kill onto Hobbit. Outpeaks Doja to his demise. And Adrian now with the AWP is going to land another one, but that's all. So the round will, as expected, go the way of the Swedes.
And keeping 3 players alive is huge here for GODSENT. They continue to build that bank. And on that CT side, you want the incendiaries, you want the HEs. You need to be able to just get those anti-rush nades out there into A main in case, well, into A main or Brown Halls, right? In case they try and change at the pace here, Gambit. But for Gambit, this is a difficult scenario. A little bit of a shake of the head there from Adrian. And frankly, I mean, it's tough when you have Adrian and Doja. Doja not necessarily known for sacrificing himself for his teammates, or at least taking the risk, you know, of doing that. Perhaps not the best players to have paired up with Mo, because really, when you have 3 players over there, it's pretty common to have somebody throw themselves across the gap, bait the op shot from JW if he's holding the angle, and then that allows Mo to safely peek the angle behind him. So some very elementary mistakes being made here by Gambit.
And at this level, you can see how much that costs them. Lose a player right off the bat, you're always going to be fighting from behind.
I mean, GODSENT are not tier 1, but they've got tier 1 players.
Right.
If you make that kind of mistake, I mean, JW is just grinning.
They have players with exceptional skill, and they've got players with exceptional experience and in-game IQ. So you can't afford to give anything away for free. Gambit now, as you can see, into a half-bite scenario. And playing it slow once again. We haven't really seen them go too explosive right off the bat. These are the kind of rounds where I might expect to see that, but not just yet.
Well, it's going to be the straight A execute coming out here from Gambit. 4 players on the A side, however, and I believe one of them is up in Sniper. That might be Lekro. And so they're going to be able to see over these smokes. And yep, Lekro not going to find the shot, surprisingly enough. And that sets it up here. Schneider, with the help of Lekro, going to drop the 1. And Pronax is going to catch out Doja. And this is just very straightforward. They're having a field day right now, GODSENT.
Well, bomb is going to get planted. So all things considered, not too terrible for Gambit. It was a half-bite anyway, but again, we're getting to that scenario where getting a bomb plant here, getting an extra couple kills there is not good enough. You have to start converting some of these rounds. You have to start getting more than 3 or 4 rounds on this half, and so far only 1. GODSENT are in such a dominant position right now.
Well, you just hear it in your ears, right? All that money being spent on grenades, on kits, a fully equipped GODSENT now. And a very well-off, I mean, well, considering the rounds that they've lost, right, a very well-off Gambit. They have a good nade count. They should be able to run through any kind of basic strategy, and that's kind of what they did last round, though. So now I think it's going to have to come into that chaos scenario for Gambit, where they're going to have to try and throw hope to the wind, get out there quick. And we might be seeing that now. I mean, Adrian and Doja pushing A main already.
Seemingly holding off for the time being, though. They're throwing out a lot of utility. What is this play? I mean, is this a fake? If so, you've just spent so many grenades and you're losing players anyway. Here we go. They're going to start to push out onto B, and Mo has got the frag onto Flusha. Adrian with a headshot onto Lekro, but Schneider's going to answer back. 3 on 3. That bomb now planted on B site.
But they've got the angle. They've already got the angle. Mo is looking towards connector. All of GODSENT going to be coming through here pretty much, apart from the one-man JW rotating back through CT, but Hobbit has already got that angle as well. Hobbit hears him coming from a mile away. JW going to walk right into it, but JW, the sixth sense, kicks in, and he's going to take down Hobbit. It's the Eye of Sauron whispering to him, letting him know.
That's a big miss as well by Mo. Doesn't get the frag on the approach through connector. Now they know where he is. He's missed another one. This could cost his team the round. The time is ticking down, but Pronax lands the frag. They're going to go for this defuse. Out comes the flash from Zeus. Goes for the spray, but Pronax lands the AK headshot, and the bomb gets defused. Gambit had a 3-on-3 retake, and Mo missed 2 sitters of shots, and that really hurt them.
And I think that was down to the split second again that diffused.
Yep.
I thought I heard the bomb take over.
It was.
How close do you have to cut it, GODSENT? How frustrating is this for Gambit? 2 rounds now, 2 big key rounds, right? That could have turned things for them. And just fractions of a second making all the difference. 9-1 lead for GODSENT now, who have just established a dominant hold. And now it's going to be JW. Yes, give me some vintage JW. Go out there, look for the fight. No, come on, do it.
I think that flash just ruined your day, Sam. He got flash and it stopped him. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he'd have peaked. There we go. Gets a kill anyway. And Pronax is there just to make sure he doesn't get pushed. JW with the second. And that's the kind of teamwork that we're looking for. Pronax throws himself to the wolves, says, go on then, JW, you pick up the second kill. Schneider with a frag onto Adrian, who really should be doing better from that situation. But still, Gambit, 2 players strongly moving into B. Incendiary stops the push.
And Flusha just tapping away. Tappa. Takes down Zeus. And it's a man advantage, well, a big one, actually. Hobbit has to try and find a way to pick up that bomb, but it's not looking too good for him. He drops Flusha, so that's already a good start, but still a 1v3. Touchdown nade onto Lekro and JW, but there are just so many bodies coming at him here, and he's boxed in as well. Schneider is waiting for him to try and rotate out, and it's not going to happen. JW, excellent round from him. 3 kills. Sacrifices in-game leader to get that second one, but that's fair. Good teamwork over at Alley. And so that's a 10-1 lead now for Gambit. They continue to just completely destroy Gambit. What? No. What did I say? 10-1 lead for GODSENT, rather. It's the fact that they both start with G, you know, so you just...
Yeah. And to be fair, if you just watched that first map and you came back after, like, 10, 15-minute break, you're like, what the hell? 10-1 against Gambit after how they just played on Cobblestone? Yeah, GODSENT have turned it up a few levels. 14-1 is Schneider, who is the bottom fragger for the large bulk of Cobblestone. 13-5 Lekro. Zeus just on 2, and it was really Zeus. Sure, it ended up being Mo at the end that was getting all the kills, but Zeus at the start, I think he was 11-2. He started so well on Cobblestone in those opening few rounds on the T half and was just wrecking GODSENT single-handedly. So we're seeing a real riches to rags story for Gambit. And GODSENT, I mean, they're sitting pretty. They've got 3 or 4 players over 8K, 2 of which are over 10K. So they're set for the rest of this half.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about ecoing anytime soon. But it will be the unpause, the tactical timeout coming through. Oh, it will be on the unpause. Actually, that's Schneider trolling us. Okay, Schneider, haha. It's a full 2-minute timeout that you can take if you're GODSENT, if you're Gambit right now. They are having quite a bit of a discussion. The issue here is that, well, they have enough money for a buy. It's going to be a bit, no, they do have enough money for a buy here, Gambit. It's not going to involve all of the grenades. They will be a little bit light. But I think that Zeus right now, more than anything, is trying to just go give a bit of a pep talk here. It's like, come on, guys, start hitting your shots, please. We're all of us in single digits right now. That's not nearly good enough.
No one even close to more kills than Deaths either. I mean, the closest is Adrian, is 6 and 10. Everyone floating between 3 and 4 kills. You've got 2 for Zeus. I'm curious if we're going to see Gambit go for more of an aggressive push. We saw one of the rounds they got the bomb plant where it went down to the very last second was when they faked onto A and they pushed B all together as a...
I can't focus anymore on what you're saying because there's a dead pixel in that panel.
The OCD's real.
I know, man. It's going to drive me nuts now. I'm going to be thinking about it.
Cannot be unseen. I think there's a lot of people probably didn't notice it, and now you've just triggered a lot of people.
You're welcome, stream.
Good guy, Sam. Here we go, though. We are live again. Can GODSENT continue to turn up the heat? It could be a 14-1 half, honestly. Gambit putting a lot of emphasis into this round. And it doesn't appear to be the fast play just yet, but a lot of presence put on Ivy.
Back to default. And Pronax about to be greeted again. The 3-man hit squad over here for Gambit. And hey, Adrian actually jumped across. Mo's got the angle now. And then promptly backs off. Did they actually mess up the timing or something? What is this?
The downside for Gambit is they've made the right play, but JW wasn't even there with the AWP, so they don't draw out the fire. And now Pronax is here with an assault rifle, so this could get messy for Gambit. They're all clumped up together. The flashes are starting to land in the eyes of Gambit. They can't see a single thing. Here comes Pronax with 1. Oh, he's done so much damage single-handedly. Adrian and Mo both down to below 10 health. Definitely a worthwhile trade in the end.
Absolutely. Pronax did work. May not have got the kills, but he'll pick up 2 assists for sure. And well, that kind of throws a wrench in things here for Gambit. They really wanted to bank off of that alley push, getting control of alley and trying to sandwich onto that A site, really just catch out the players there for GODSENT. But instead, it means that there are 3 full HP GODSENT players forming a triangle of doom on the A site, just waiting, watching all of the angles, and Flusha holding solo on B. But with how much damage Adrian and Mo have taken, this is going to be a very difficult round now for Gambit. They're so low on utility as well. Single flash on Zeus. Hobbit going to find the headshot on Schneider, though. That's some fine work. But then the trade here from JW just going to work. Hobbit with the second kill, though. He's really stepping up this round.
I'm so surprised that Gambit are even in a position where they could feasibly win this round. They had no utility, low health, but here comes Lekro. Oh, the triple! Adrian was already low from Pronax's huge play, and Lekro finishes it off. Once again, Gambit gets so close, but the carpet gets pulled from underneath them.
What a monster round. Lekro, he runs into both players with actual health as well. Brutal. And well, like Yanko would say, right, there's a fine line between baiting and teamwork, and that's where you feel good for Lekro, right? Didn't let him know that he was holding close, didn't let him know that he was there, and he completely and utterly ruins Gambit's day. It's Gambit going for the force again. 4 rifles and a deagle on Doja. Hardly any nades to speak of, however. And while continuing to set up with the 4 players on A, GODSENT, they really are trusting in Flusha to at least do a little bit of damage here when Gambit try and make their way onto the B site.
So Overpass, of course, is coming up next as well, Sam, and I think there'll be half a mind for Gambit on that map. But here we go. Here comes the execute. Adrian with the opening pick. Are they really going to get their second round in one of the worst buys that we've seen from them? Hobbit spraying through the smoke. But JW is not letting this round go to rest just yet. Schneider with just 7 health will best Doja, and Hobbit comes back again, 2-on-2 with the pre-plant, or the post-plant, I should say, going against GODSENT.
Dude, this Hobbit, what is this? He's just completely destroying them. Even manages to spot out Pronax before Pronax can react, and now Pronax going to get shot in the back by Mo. Nothing he can really do in that sort of scenario. When you get set up in that crossfire, it's a nightmare. But Hobbit, another monster round. Back-to-back high-impact rounds for Hobbit. And this time it actually works out. They've succeeded in breaking the streak. Unfortunately for them, it happens in the 14th round, in the 13th round, basically, going into the 14th. GODSENT have got so much money now. And Gambit, well, they have to cross their fingers and hope. Mo has got an AWP once again, however, so we'll see if he's going to take it over towards Ali and find that first pick. Pronax and JW will be there ready and waiting for him once again.
Flusha is going to be peeking up box holes with the secondary AWP, though. And down he goes to the hands of Hobbit. So that's a huge pick, not just the kill, but there's an AWP on the ground if they so choose. And this instantly forces out one of the A defenders over onto B.
I really wanted to see that. I think it was just like the boost across, the boost jump across to try and catch him by a surprise. That's very clever stuff from Gambit. I like that a lot. But it's still the man advantage here for Gambit. Schneider not realizing that Adrian has worked his way past him. This could be unfortunate. Zeus gonna get sprayed down, but again, Schneider, no idea. The defense has been penetrated. JW takes down Doja, however, but then Adrian continues to do work. 2 kills for him now. And that's actually just cutting off the rotation. Adrian just gonna go for the fight and hit. Well, Hobbit robs him.
What did the call not come out by Pronax? He turned his back to the angle where Schneider had just died. I don't know what to make of that. 45 seconds left anyway. JW is going to trade across to the AK in this 1-on-3. Bomb planted. He has typically been around this area, so Gambit are going to have a rough idea as to where to clear out. Going to be peeking around. Adrian just to his right-hand side. Oh, what a shot that is. 11-3, so Gambit, in fairness to them, it looked really shoddy, but if they can finish with 11-4 half, it does give them a little bit to play with. This is the moment I'm really surprised by. You can just see Pronax starting across the Ivy with his back turned to the aggressing Adrian. Like,
yeah, maybe some miscommunication there, or perhaps he thought that he had a little bit more time to play with. Pronax's main job at that point is to try and shut down one of the points of access onto the A site. And so if he's got that crossfire set up with JW towards Ali, if you can kill off the guy coming in through Ali, perhaps that's what he's thinking. After that, you deal with Adrian on the site. Doesn't quite work out, though. The timing, unfortunate. And, well, GODSENT, they still have money to buy in this 15th round. It is a little skimpy, JW just with the swag 7, but then again, he goes straight into Pop Dog. This is some vintage JW right here. I like to see.
Oh, Pronax is going to get knocked down and out, and already just 2 nades remaining with so much time on the board. Max 7, what can get done here? Misses the first shot. JW will lose his life. Next up is Schneider. Lekro going to land the frag onto Doja as he pushes out of Ivy. But 2 players now are known. And with so much time left, Gambit can afford to maybe try and fake out GODSENT on a rotate. Schneider still on the E-box, isn't seeing anything. Pretty much the stack that you'd expect to see with 2 on A, 1 on B. And Gambit going to be using this 50 seconds to probe through Ivy, it would seem. I mean, Hobbit is starting to push through. The bomb is still around the T main side. 40 seconds now.
This is all about patience and trusting your angle, and Schneider's going to go for the peek. Nice read on his part, but he's not going to be able to actually capitalize on it. Adrian will find the shot. Lekro with the AWP trying to look down that long line towards Pop Dog to deny that bomb plant, but it's not going to happen. Mo is going to be able to plant it default. And well, there's a nice shot. Catches out Hobbit. Needs to get the follow-up, but he gets it, the fadeaway shot.
How is this even possible, Gambit? This was your golden ticket back into this, and Flusher from behind. Zeus will land it. Adrian, 28 health. Everything on his shoulders. It should never have came down to this. Maybe he can still clutch. He's going to get the drop on Lekro. Lands the first shot onto him. Flusher doesn't have a kit. He's going to have to charge across. He's going to be just holding onto the plant for a few seconds longer. Lands a frag, goes back to the kit. And we'll have this defuse. GODSENT will end 12-3. Gambit, how are you losing that 2v4?
Is this old train, right? What is this scoreline right now? 12-3.
Unreal.
It's a throwback day today, apparently. 12-3 finish, and well, yeah, you can see it. Mo definitely looking a bit frustrated. Kind of looks the way that GODSENT looked on Cobblestone. Pretty one-sided showing so far, actually, from each of these teams. GODSENT got run over on Cobblestone, and here we see Gambit just not able to get anything going for themselves here in the first half on train. They're going to swap over to the CT side, however, so if Hobbit continues to hit shots, maybe, you know, anything could be possible. But still, they have a long road ahead of them here, and it would require a collapse on GODSENT's part, which is a pretty hard thing to do when, you know, you've just finished 12-3 in the first half. You've got to be feeling pretty good about yourselves.
Definitely. I can't see how they whiff a 12-3 lead. And this is another reason why I thought, you know, if Gambit can end 11-4, gives them a little bit more room to play with. You win the pistol, maybe get back up to 11-7, and then game's back on again, right, on the CT side. But this pistol is of paramount importance. It goes without saying. And, well, Gambit, they have the work cut out for them. What kind of utility we're going to see coming into this one? Expecting to see Pronax pick up some for GODSENT. In the meanwhile, Gambit looks like it's going to be straight up Kevlar's with a kit in hands of Doja. Yeah, Pronax has gone for 2 flashes and a smoke.
I actually just want to follow Hobbit as well in this pistol, because this guy keeps getting kills in pistol rounds like he's a monster, it seems. Going to be curious to see. He might get that high ground as well. They aren't wasting any time, GODSENT, actually. This is a very quick execute out onto the A site. With 2 players here, they still have 2 players hanging around Alley. They're taking advantage of the smoke that has gone down. The single flash on Pronax, ready to go out. There it is, onto the A side. And in the meantime, the push begins here at Alley. So far, Zeus is going to be able to hold the line. And Adrian and Hobbit delivering on the site itself. Zeus going to take the kill on Flusha. And while Gambit showing that they've still got some fight in them.
Not going to go down without a fight. Pronax goes next, and Zeus with 2 kills will bring a 4th round to Gambit. Okay. Still a long, long way to go. GODSENT will be going for a force. No plant in that last round. Gives them no reason to save. Will be the same kind of pistols you're expecting to see. Just the 1 Deagle, but Tech 9s, and 3 smokes if they want to go for a set play.
Yeah, nice trade of the pistol rounds so far. GODSENT got that very strong start on their CT half, and now Gambit gets a little bit of a head start here as well. And they do kind of spread it out a little bit. 2 UMPs, 2 rifles, and the single scout. Adrian going for the shoulder peaks. Little does he know, Flush is going to be waiting for him. Spots him out, does some big damage, and Doja's there actually to capitalize. Good teamwork. That drops the bomb. GODSENT, they've lost control of the situation.
No, it's just solid. Solid Counter-Strike. Not much that GODSENT can do about that. At this point, it would be a huge throw from Gambit to lose. They got the bomb down in a horrible place. Smoke as well, so they can even relocate if they so choose. And I can see the whole of the CTs just funneling in onto the box halls, and there is really no hope. All hope is lost for GODSENT in this round.
Yeah, they're hoping. Okay, well, they do manage to bank that smoke a bit further, but they've pushed up ahead of the smoke as well here, Gambit. So there really is no hope. Doja gets impatient, decides to just charge forward, takes a fight, but he's got the UMP. Sure enough, Schneider's going to find the kill on Mo, but Adrian is there to spray down JW, and it is all on Schneider now. Right on the angle, and Hobbit's going to find the shot. So a bit of a stretch there for Gambit, but they keep both rifles alive. That's the important bit. Yeah. Everybody else is kind of expendable. I mean, apart from Mo, you kind of want to keep the scout alive. But still, 5 rounds on the board, 12 still for Gambit. For GODSENT. The G's, man.
I like as well that Zeus did throw across the UMP to Mo, so that just allows him to get more farming towards that AWP fund. So Zeus with his Tech 9 still going to be more than capable of ripping through GODSENT, who've got nothing invested into this round. Absolutely nothing, just Glocks. Doja's going to come in with the spray. Lekro bites the dust. And Gambit draw it back one round closer. Of course, still 4 players alive, but it's so unlikely to get anything done here. It's going to be a bloodbath. Doja holds down left click. 3 players fall down. Flusher is going to get picked off by Mo. Going to be coming in though. GODSENT for like Ace, Gambit. Zeus surely going to be upgrading that Tech 9. He's got 6.4k. Oh, there we go. He's got UMP instead. This does mean though that Gambit are living on a bit of hope here that these two MPs come good. If they end up losing this round, they're going to be right back into a horrific position. So rolling the dice a little bit here, Sam.
Why not?
Keep things interesting.
Exactly. You know, you got to keep it close. You're never out of it in a game of CS, and especially if Mo's going to hit shots like that. JW obliterated at Alley. Now, well, the man advantage here going into the hold for Gambit. Lekro and Flusha, in the meantime, have taken control of Brown Halls, but Mo continues to pick them apart. Pronax will be able to shoot him in the butt. But apart from that, it is still a situation that Gambit have the edge in because Zeus is pushed in the meantime practically to T-spawn. If he keeps on this route, he's going to completely hamstring GODSENT in a second here.
Very split up as well, the terrorists. You got Pronax who's out on the trains of A. Meanwhile, his 2 compadres going to be moving through towards the B side. May be able to sneak away. He's been spotted though by Zeus. He will spray him in the backside. And GODSENT haven't actually pushed out onto B just yet. The opening pick is going to make things interesting. The bomb could very well get planted. Still, the bomb carrier of Lekro hasn't pushed through ramp. He's about to do that right now. Smoking off to make sure he can't get tapped on the cross or opt out. And here comes the spray. Adrian's going to get the better of this. Lekro gets the bomb planted, but now 1 on 3. And, well, add into that there's incendiaries flying past his eyes and the Zeus frag. Gambit have picked up a 7th.
Yeah, just you know, tough scenario there for Flusha. He got a blindingly beautiful headshot there on Doja. That was an excellent flick, but then he knows that it's a man advantage, that they have no utility to work with. He has to try and take a fight. He has to try and catch somebody out of position on Gambit's side, and it just doesn't work out for him. Superior nade count and the man advantage for Gambit means a 7th round on the board for them. 12 for GODSENT, and GODSENT, because of the bomb plant, are going to be able to go for a buy here, it looks like. And they're just going to try and keep that pressure going. They don't want to let up on Gambit whatsoever. So 5 AKs. They're waiting for that lucky round basically to come their way where they're going to be able to just break Gambit and run away with this game. But they have 5 grenades total here on GODSENT's side. That's not a whole lot of utility to work with.
So far, so good though for Gambit. That's 4 out of 4 on their CT side. They are cutting that deficit in half. And GODSENT already down to just 3 smokes and a couple flashes. Plenty of firepower though, and it just takes that one moment of entry fragging power and things get really sketchy for Gambit. 2-3 formation. Once again, they're not going to be pushing through one-dimensional. Plenty of angles. Pronax needs to be careful. That molly's going to start to spread. He's going to use one of his smokes and very nearly gets picked off. Oh, look how much health he lost as well. 77 health gone. Now just 2 smokes to play with on the B side if they want to execute.
This is just slow paced. 50 seconds left, and still both teams just waiting. I mean, they have worked their way into Brown Halls here, GODSENT, so they have the map control here. They still maintain over to Alley as well. They're counting on JW to eventually work his way in. Smoke has just been used by Zeus. Good job on him, really running down that clock before he decides to put it out there. But, I mean, we're getting to the 25-second mark here, and there's still no advantage here for GODSENT. They haven't made any progress onto a bomb site. We're looking at Gambit in the first half of Cobblestone where they just kept running the clock, running out of time, and, well, big trade of kills there. Mo caught out in the open, however, is going to take quite a bit of damage, but he's done his job. He's going to rotate back around.
12 seconds left. Bomb is going to start to get planted. It will be completed. With Pronax and Flusha low, this is still doable for Gambit. They have lost Adrian, and now Mo, who's himself just down to 17, going to be trying to retake with his partner of Doja, who's trying to make a move in. It looks like this is just going to be a save, though.
Yeah, Mo has only got 1,800 in the bank right now, so he wants to hold on to that AWP. And when you're going into a 2-on-4 A site, there's so many places for Gambit to have to check when they go onto the site. GODSENT, they could be anywhere. But I am a bit surprised at how slow that was and how effective it was for GODSENT. 20 seconds left means that you can make literally like just 0 mistakes. And I'm curious if Zeus, started looking the wrong way. JW got the drop on him. And as soon as Zeus dies, as soon as you lose one of the points of the triangle, that's it. You're done. You're going to get run over. So 13-7, GODSENT finally picking up around here in this second half. 4 in a row for Gambit. Now we have to see if Gambit, if they're going to be able to come right back into this or not. It's a full-on fight. Both teams fully equipped. And more default? No. 3 players actually going towards Alley very quickly here. Schneider and Flusha setting up, and we might see the change of pace coming out here from GODSENT.
Open bomb carrier of JW going to be peering through onto Ivy. 2 players just ahead of him. Going to be charging their way in. Oh, Zeus just peeks to his left-hand side and pretty much cost him his life. Down he goes. The AWPer of Mo is going to try and get them on the cross, but you better believe there's going to be some utility up in his face. And he misses out on the opportunity. Picked off from behind. Flusher through. Not able to get a second, but has the damage been done? Gambit still have Doja and Adrian, but they're very much segregated from one another.
They need to rotate that bomb onto the site immediately, though. JW's kind of getting bottled out. Once those smokes clear, it gets risky. Schneider, though, that's the key kill right there onto Doja. And so now it's on Adrian. 1v3. Bomb planted safe for GODSENT as well. And he's not even going to find the shot. Schneider gets the great headshot on him. 14-7 now. And they're starting to run away with this now, GODSENT. It's starting to look good. Because this is going to put Gambit in a tough economic situation. Zeus just barely is able to buy a rifle. Adrian as well. There are no nades here, and that's the kind of cry of defeat right now for Gambit. They have to go for the force. Well, this is the best that they can do. It's almost where you want to see them go for FAMASas or something like that, just to have a few more grenades to work with. Because Doja and Hobbit were broke.
Yeah, this suggests that Doja or Hobbit may very well go for a very aggressive sort of round. They know they've got no utility to back off on. You're starting to see now they're pushing their way into Pop Dog and T-Main respectively. Some damage has been done onto Schneider. But it's just a case of dodging the first aggression from the CTs, and then when the execute comes in, that's where GODSENT should be firm favorites. They just have to be careful that the Pop Dog push doesn't come in.
They're so poor on utility right now, Gambit. That's the thing. Zeus has a single flash grenade. Look at all the grenades that are there for GODSENT. This should really just be GODSENT settling down, going for a very nice, clean execute with all of the nades, all the fixins, the gravy, everything like that, right? Just everything. And running right over Gambit. And it is going to be that B take by the looks of things here. Minute left, and whoa, the headshot from Mo. That was quick.
And this is why with this kind of composition of weaponry, you have to play more aggressive angles. You have to go for those peaks, because this is the way you win the round. I'm very surprised that GODSENT aren't just coming in together right now, chiming together and pushing aside.
Well, they did actually throw quite a few nades over onto B site, so that's going to cost them. But Hobbit holding up close. Schneider there to trade. He just barely saves Pronax, who was holding the bomb.
Wrap around through box halls by Gambit is going to be coming to fruition shortly. Bomb's going to get planted, but when you consider how many angles there are from Gambit, I mean, they've got 4 different angles to watch out for GODSENT, and there is Zeus with a double spray. Stepping up big when it's required. Doja puts a final nail on the coffin, and Gambit will take the round. That was looking like it could be the last round of competitive play, at least on this map. If they lost that, there's a lot of map points. It's going to go the way of GODSENT. Instead, Gambit have a few more lifelines to play with.
Yeah, exactly right. Zeus has saved the AWP as well from JW, so Mo's going to be able to play with that in the next round. And if Mo is quick enough to hit headshots like that on Flusha, definitely get that man in AWP. Let him go to work. Keep the hopes alive. 14-8. And GODSENT had the money for a full buy on their side, no problems at all. And they aren't going to mess around this time with an AWP. They have full AKs, and so they can be a bit more nimble, a bit more fleet. And very quick nades going out onto the A side as well.
The barrage of nades are connecting. GODSENT going to be pushing behind it from Pop Dog. You can see from Adrian's perspective, he was getting flashed out, couldn't really see anything. Still gets the 1-for-1 trade, which really isn't bad, all things considered. But Hobbit, in the meanwhile, will lay Schneider to rest. Molotov going to be landing right next to Mo. He's going to stand his ground for the time being. Comes out into the open. Lecro will take him down. And it's going to be another collapse. Doja with 1 needs 2 more kills to pull this one off. And the bomb is planted.
What a train wreck of a round. I mean, this is tough Gambit just got run over. Nice shot from Doja, though. Turns it into a 1v1. Flusha trying to back off, and this is Flusha in his element. When he's in the clutch like this, he shouldn't be making any mistakes. Decides to go for the peek, and he catches Doja with a grenade in his hand. And if ever you wanted an example of why you don't really pull grenades out in a 1v1, it's that. You don't want to get caught with a grenade in your hand when the other guy's got a rifle. Brutal. And a perfect timing hit there by Flusha as well. Just shuts it down. Map point for GODSENT. We're actually staring down the barrel of an overpass right now. 15-8.
We sure are. And if it does go 16-8, then both maps are pretty one-sided.
Can you hear that? YOLO on the wind.
Certainly can, but it's going to be Lekro and Flusha that also hear it. And they are going to lay a couple players to rest. However, Zeus comes up with the M4 once again. Doja has one alongside himself, and it's going to put down some serious pain. Going for the spray, Schneider gets the better of him, leaving Zeus in a 1-on-2. Lots of time to play with. Bomb to get planted, and with 2 Molotovs in the hands of GODSENT, this is a rough ask for Zeus. He does have a smoke, but it's such a brutal sight to get back on, though. There's so many places you have to check.
Yeah, Pronax hears him stomping from a mile away, and Zeus knows he has very little time to play with, and that's going to end it. Pronax will take the final kill of this map, 16-8. We're tied 1-1 in maps. We're going the distance. It's going to be Overpass coming up next to see who is going to face off against Renegades in the grand finals here of Dreamhack Winter. But GODSENT showing that they've got some fight in them. It was a very one-sided cobblestone for Gambit. They ran right over GODSENT, but Gambit not able to cinch it, not able to actually close it out.
I've got to be honest, after that cobblestone performance, I thought Gambit would just run away 2-0 with this, but I'm happy from a spectator's viewpoint, from a neutral's viewpoint, that we are going to see Overpass. I think Overpass is going to be a lot closer. As I said before, both these maps have been one-sided. I think it was 16-6, 16-8. So I think Overpass could very well go the distance. But yeah, GODSENT, the likes of Schneider, stood up tall that one.
All right, well, I mean, we are going to have to see, really, what is going to develop here, because this could be a very even match, and it could also be a very one-sided final map. It's kind of, right now with these sorts of teams, it is a little bit scrappy. But going into the second map now, you kind of expect it, right? Oh, you're going to make it to map 3. This is going to be tit for tat, toe for toe, right? Except that Gambit yesterday just completely just destroyed Cloud9, right? So, and that was a map 3. So we'll see. Can Gambit do the same thing here? Can they bounce back or not? We'll find out after the break. Join us.